Dear students, welcome to the e-learning session. This initiative is taken by Cambridge International School, Dasuga. I am Navdeep, working as PGT Informatics Practices here. Students, we have covered the introduction part till now. So, today we will focus on what are the different data types in Python. So, the topics covered till date. So we just revise that Python keyword, identifier, rules for naming the identifier, variables, and so on. Okay. So just have a recap over that. Python keywords. What are Python keywords? They are also called the reserved words. So what are the reserved words whose meaning is already defined inside the Python? So we cannot use them for other purposes like naming a variable and so on. So to have a look at the list of keywords, you can see here the list of keywords: false, class, finally. If false, F is capital, you have to write it as capital. We cannot use it as a small one because the Python is a case sensitive language. This is very important part of the Python. The next we discussed was identifiers. Now students, this is the identifier. Identifier names used to identify a variable, a function, or any major item that we used in a uh, Python program. What are the rules for naming the identifiers? Like a identifier can start with a uppercase or a lowercase alphabet, or it can start with a underscore also. And this may also contain small a to z, capital A to z, 0 to 9, and underscore. And therefore an identifier cannot start with a digit, so it should not start with a digit or with a any other special character other than the underscore. It can be of any length, but it should be meaningful, and it should not be a keyword that we already discussed, and it should not contain any special characters other than underscore. Now we discussed what is a variable, very important part of a Python program. That variable is an identifier who can change its value during the processing. Clear? So what are the different types of variables? And variable name should be a unique one in the program. Clear? We should not have two variables of the same name. Then we start with the today's topic. Today we are going to focus on data types. What are the different data types which are used in Python? So every value belongs to a specific data type in Python. So data type identifiers the type, basically the data type identifies the type of the data which a variable can hold. So what type of a value will be held by a variable is decided by its data type and the operations that can be performed on that very data. So this is what we have in a data type. What are the different data types in Python? This figure will help you out. Clear? On the left hand side we have numbers, and the numbers are again categorized into integers type number, floating point number, complex numbers. Then integer numbers can have boolean value also. Boolean is a special type of numbers that have only two values, true and false. Then after numbers we have sequences. Sequences again are of three types: strings, list, and tuples. Clear? Then we have sets, non data type, and last one is mapping. So in this lecture we will try to go through all the major data types that are used in Python. Moving forward, first is number. So number data type stores the numerical value only. It further classified into three types that we discussed, that is integer, it can hold only whole numbers. Float, it represents the real numbers, like means a number that has a fractional part. And then is complex number, which are used in mathematics, that is having a value iota and omega and so on. So numeric data types you can see from the figure. Integer, its examples are given, that these are the whole numbers. Float, example is given, like they can have a fractional value. And then is the complex numbers, which are used in mathematics mostly, and you see here that they are containing iota, so that is, it represents the complex numbers. Now we'll move to the Python interactive mode for its example. Coming to the Python, clear. So first we'll test our numbers that we have started now. First we have integer numbers. Let's say we use a variable quantity and we assign integer value this, clear. And then just to finally test its type, this type keyword of quantity variable, and you can find its type. You see here its type is integer, clear. So type of this quantity variable is integer. Similarly, moving next, another example is, let's say, floating type price. I take a variable price is equal to 1 2 4, take any number, fractional number, clear. And I want to see its data type, just type keyword, and we have price, name of the variable, and just run this one. So you find the now type of this float is, clear. Price variable's data type is float, clear. This value is of real type or float, clear. That's why we find the type of price variable is, as the output is float. So students, that we discussed, the first is data type is numbers in Python. Next, another very important point about the variables. So variables are simple data types like integer, float and boolean. And another important thing is these variables can hold a single value. But such variables are not useful to hold multiple values. Sometimes in real life we need to assign multiple values. So the variable that we have discussed, they can store only a single value. So for example, let's say we want to store the names of months in a year. So you know, in a year we have 12 months, clear. Names of students in a class, so these are the multiple values, clear. So for this type of values we cannot use these variable that we discussed earlier. For these we require some special variables. So for this, Python provides sequence data types like strings, list, tuples and mapping. So moving to the other data types, students, in this category the first data type that we'll go through, what is sequences. A Python sequence is an ordered collection of items. Ordered means that it has a sequence like 1 2 3 4 5. This is a order we have, where each item is indexed by an integer value. So all the values, they have a corresponding index, you can say their address. These types of sequence data types available in Python are, first is strings, then is list, and third is tuple. So we'll go through all these one by one. So we start with strings. Students, what are strings? String is a group of characters. These characters may be alphabets, digits, special characters, including spaces also. String values are enclosed in either in single quotes or in double quotes. So we'll do its example in Python. So now moving to the Python for strings example. So first example we take, let's say str, name of the variable is str1 is equal to, let's say I type in double quotes hello friend. str1, and you see the final output here. Okay, similarly we can find the type. Its type is string. Students, we can use the single quotes also. Clear? Hello world. So we can use double quotes also as well as single quotes also for strings. Print str2, and you see the output here. Clear? Hello world this time. So if I, let's say student, take another example for strings. If I write a number within double quotes or in single quotes, clear? So this is now not a number. This has now become a string. Clear? So if you see the type of variable str3 and you find in the results that it is a string, it is now not a number. So this is the very interesting things in Python. Now coming back, moving to the next. So see the next we have now list. This is very important data type and very frequently used in Python. So list is a sequence of items separated by commas and items are enclosed within square brackets. Note that the items may be of different data type. The spellings are wrong here. Data types. So now you can see the data type. Now we move to the example of list. Now coming back to the Python interface, now we will create a list, students. So let's say name of the list is list1. So use the square brackets, put up the values separated by comma. Clear? So it can have different data types that are the same data type. Clear? So let us say we have these types alphanumeric value, maybe sometime used in very addresses. Clear? Then close the square bracket. List1, type list1, and you see the list here is output. Clear? So how many list items are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and their index values are there. Their corresponding index value starting from 0. Its index value is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in Python. So in the coming lectures we'll focus uh, quite a bit on indexing also. So after list, move to the next data type. So students, next data type is tuples. So tuples are very similar to list, but the major difference in tuples and list is in tuples we can edit a or update a or delete a data item, but in tuples we cannot do this one. So tuple is a sequence of items separated by commas and items are enclosed in parentheses. And this is unlike list where values are enclosed in square brackets. Once created, we cannot change items in the tuple. Clear? So this is the major difference between a tuple. Its values are immutable, and in list the values are mutable. We can change them. Now we'll do some practical example in the Python interface. Now we are trying a tuple example. So let's say name of the tuple is tuple1. So now here we use the parentheses. Earlier we were using the square brackets. So assign the values separated by comma. If you are using a string value, use the double quotes. And can enter the float value also and character value also, but we cannot change value here. Clear? So if you want to see the, oh, there is some problem here. So students, here we missed the equal to symbol. Clear? See here we have just typed the tuple and started with this one, but we need this equal to sign here. So now to see the output, now print tuple 1. Just run this one, so you will find the tuple enclosed in parentheses and list was enclosed in square brackets here, like see here. The difference in these when we use them in Python, that tuple values are immutable, we cannot change them, and the list values are mutable, that means the values can be changed. Now after covering the tuples, so we now move forward to mapping. So what is mapping? That is an unordered data type in Python. Means earlier we have done the sequence. Under sequence we have done strings, tuples and list, and mapping is different to sequence. In mapping, this is an unordered. Unordered means the values will not be in a sequence sort of a 1 2 3 sort of a thing. Currently there is only one standard mapping data type in Python, that is called the dictionary. So we move to the dictionary. What is the dictionary is? You see here, dictionary is also quite important. Dictionary in Python holds data items in the form of key value pairs, and items are enclosed in curly brackets. So here a dictionary is enclosed inside the curly brackets, and it holds the data items in the form of key and value. So we will take students example also, need not to worry. Dictionary permits faster access to data. Every key is separated from its value using the colon sign. The key value pair of a dictionary can be accessed using the keys also. So keys usually are string type and their values can be of any data type. In order to access any value in the dictionary, we have to specify the key in the square brackets. So students, you should be first broadly clear with the definition part. Clear? So this is the important thing is here about the dictionary, that this falls under the category of unordered data type. Here the values will be inside the curly brackets, they are faster to access, and it basically uses the fundamental of key and values. So this will be having a better clarity if we take a example. Moving to the Python interface for the example of dictionary. So students, I take one variable dict1 for dictionary. As we already discussed, the value should be inside the curly brackets. So first is a key. So let's say my key is fruit, corresponding value after a colon, and let's say the value is apple. Then the second key is, let's say, climate. Its value is, let's say, climate is, I say that it is cold. Then I take another key, let's say price in kg. Clear? Price like per kg we say, and then the price of the item is, let's say, rupees 120. Clear? So numeric value need not to be enclosed in quotes, it should be without quotes, and then close the curly brackets. Clear? And I apply here print dict1 variable name, enter. So you see all the we have a price, its corresponding value, key, climate its value, key fruit and its corresponding value. If I want to students find the particular key, so for that I use a dict1 is the dictionary, use square brackets for calling a particular key. So let's say I want to only see the price only. From the all the values I want to see only the price only. Use square brackets and then close the parentheses. So you see here now I have called only the price only. Clear? We have number of keys, fruit key, climate key and price key, and I want to see only the price one. So you see in the output part the value of the price key is 120. So here in a dictionary we have basically first one is the key one, second is after this colon sign we have a value, key climate value cold, key price value 120. So they must be enclosed in the curly brackets, from where we easily understand that this is a dictionary. So at last, covering all the data types, I thank you all for attending the session. Thanks.